Welcome to Three Girls, One Track, your go-to podcast for listening to two sisters and their cousin try and get into Formula One. We're here to break down the ins and outs of what happens on the track and especially what happens off of it. Listen in weekly to get your fill of F1 gossip, race outcomes, and which Lewis Hamilton Fashion Week outfit we thought was the hottest.
Well, you're making it difficult for me.
Yeah. So baddies. This past Friday, Beyonce dropped her album. It's out. So I feel like we are obligated to start off the podcast with, I'll say your favorite two songs. Because for me, I have two favorite songs so far. And they're both for random reasons.
Can we say top three?
You guys can say top three. I have top two.
Okay.
I can go first. Okay, so obviously Jolene is on my list. I actually like country music, so I was always going to like this. I will say I personally have to go with the theory that it's actually about her mom and her dad to stomach it, because I'm sorry, I raised that man, I raised his kids. I cannot see Beyonce being that much of a bird. Please, Beyonce, I cannot do that. So this song cannot be about you. But yeah, I can't see Beyonce being that much of a bird, so I kind of need it to be about not her. And then I guess I can do top three because I have one that I also like. Number two would be Daughter. I love the operatic moment.
I do.
I also am already thinking about the Olivia Pope edits that people are going to make to, when I'm crossed, I'm just like my father. The switch from Rowan to Olivia season 7. I'm going to die. So I'm very excited to watch my TikTok edit people get on that.
Okay.
And then third, I don't remember what the song is called, but on her album, but it's the Beatles cover. It's the Blackbird cover.
Blackbird?
Yeah, okay, it's just called Black. One, I love Blackbird, the OG song.
I love
Two,
Blackbird.
I'm a Gleek. So I remember when Kurt sang Blackbird about the dead warbler's canary. So I saw a tweet that said, I can't believe that Beyonce actually covered Blackbird by Kurt from Glee. And I think people were joking. I was like, oh, wow, she didn't actually do that, because I hadn't looked at the album yet because I was working. And then I scrolled on my TikTok and I heard it and I was like, they weren't joking. Oh my God, they were being real.
Look if they called it Blackbird by Kurt.
I'm not gonna lie.
Have you heard Kurt's rendition of Blackbird, Felicia?
It's been a while since I watched Glee. It's been a minute.
I'm not gonna lie. There are, especially like that first season of Glee, I didn't know a lot of those songs were covers.
Fun fact, I went to middle school after the first season of Glee. After I'd watched it, I was in middle school, and I swore up and down that "Don't Stop Believing" was an original song. I swore up and down because I never
heard "Don't Stop Believing"
before. It's gonna show me Journey.
Same.
Who was gonna show me Journey?
Same.
I was like, who's Journey?
Because your mama wasn't going to do it, and we weren't going to do it.
Exactly. Who's going to show me Journey? So I was like, oh, Don't Stop Believing is an original song by Glee. And then everybody was like, no, it's not. And I'm like, you guys are lame. Because I didn't understand that Glee was a cover show.
Same. I didn't get that. I didn't get it at first.
I didn't get that it was a cover show.
Obviously, I'm much older than, well, not much, but I got a few years on you. I should have known, but I didn't.
Yeah. So I would say those are my top three. I also love Tanner Ardell. I've already loved her.
Buckle Bunny.
Buckle Bunny. Buckle Bunny is a bop. It's on my summer playlist. I cannot wait for it to get hot enough for the windows to go down. Buckle Bunny on. So those are my top three. Song. I love that song. It's so good.
Felicia, you can go.
Okay. In absolutely no order. This is just what I got. So Jolene, because I just love Jolene. Riverdance, and Tyrant. I love Tyrant.
True.
I love Tyrant.
That was a good one.
See, but then I love. No, okay. I'm gonna go with that. I'm not gonna get myself twisted. Go on, Bex.
Okay, so I'm gonna surprise y'all a little bit.
Oh God,
scared.
I haven't listened to the album.
The fuck?
Oh my God, are you for real?
I disown you. You.
Okay, so let me.
What is wrong with you?
Let me tell you something. Out of the three of us, I'm the biggest Beyonce fan. So let's not.
Lies.
No, Felicia. Let's not even. It took me a good 3 months to even listen to Renaissance. I don't like listening to albums when they first come out with all the hype and stuff. I listen to Jolene is the only song I've actually listened to, the only one I've listened to fully through. I like it. I think it's cute. But I've seen people's commentary on songs they like, this, that, and the other, but I haven't listened to it because I need to really, because it's 27 songs.
That's true.
A lot, or 27 tracks, I should say.
Listen, you don't even realize the time has gone by.
I understand, but with like work and stuff, it's just, I need to like sit down and actually really enjoy it and listen to it. And I'm just not someone who listens to music as soon as it comes out. I purchased the album on iTunes. Yeah.
Okay. Music on iTunes.
I always do that. Whenever it's like an artist I like or song I like, I actually buy the album.
I'm glad that you've supported the queen in this fashion.
There you go. But I don't. So yeah, Jolene's the only song I've actually heard.
Okay. Well, we'll have to.
I really like.
Circle back once you actually listen to it.
I like Jolene the original.
Oh yeah, I love Jolene.
But I do. But Dolly's "I'm Begging You" didn't quite sit with me.
Listen,
so Beyonce's "I'm Warning You" really like each other, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the change in the tone.
Mm-hmm.
So far,
because Beyonce said, "I ain't begging nobody for nothing."
Jolene's the only one I've heard, and I like it.
I love it.
Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint.
That took me back.
I'm actually taken aback a little bit. I mean, I guess I get your logic, but I don't.
No, it's for me. It's like I'm someone like I'm not gonna lie. With Renaissance, it took me like at least a month or so to even listen to the whole album. Like I listened to like "Break My Soul." I listened to "Church Girl," but that was pretty much it. Those are the only two songs I had on repeat for a while with Renaissance before I actually the whole album.
This is where you and I differ. I'm so sorry, girl.
Yeah,
you're on your own with that one.
It's all right. It's fine.
Wow.
All right, onward and upward. What we got today?
All right, today we're doing F1 102. I would get into F1 news.
Wait, are we doing F1 102 or are we doing episode 2 of the F1 101 series?
No.
Okay, so just to cover, when you're in a college course and you take the subsequent course, the numbers start to go up. So you're taking a subsequent course.
Fine. I just wanted to understand how we were labeling this, how we were going about this, you know?
We will be going up in number as we go. And maybe once you get advanced enough that we start getting into advanced topics, maybe it'll be F1 201.
No, maybe we'll be 201 for next season.
Yeah, maybe we'll tap into that. Yeah, I would cover F1 news, but quite frankly, my only F1 news that Toto's still being annoying in the media, and that man needs to shut his mouth.
He kind of needs to grow up.
He needs to stop talking.
His feelings are hurt. His big boy feelings are hurt.
He's just saying many things, and I think he needs to say less things.
He needs to mind his business.
I also feel like
say less things.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, we can yell more about Toto because I'm sure he'll do something in Japan to piss all of us off.
Well, if I can be in Japan.
No, he announced that he will be in Japan.
Why wasn't he going to be in Japan?
Girl, I don't keep track of why Toto doesn't do his job.
Oh my God. Okay, next.
I don't keep track of why that man does not do his job. I can't do him.
Next.
Sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm doing some tech stuff here. I'll get. So
do we have a presentation today?
We do have a presentation.
I'm gagged.
We do. You should be gagged. All right. Let me share a presentation. No. Okay. F1 102 baddies. Okay.
Cute.
Okay, welcome to F1 102. Last time we covered the basic rules and the teams. This week we're getting a little fun. We're getting a little mixy. We're going to talk about F1 conspiracies, scandals, rumors, all of that kind of stuff. So I do have to give a really big disclaimer anytime that I talk about conspiracy theories. I am not saying whether I believe any of these conspiracy theories and rumors that we cover today. That's not my job. That's not my business. I'm not getting sued for the sake of this podcast. So I can neither confirm nor deny my opinion on any of these conspiracy theories. Also want to flag many conspiracy theories in general, not necessarily the ones we're covering today, are based in anti-Semitism. Do not use my episode as an excuse to get deeper into conspiracy theories. Do your research, people. Don't come with any foolishness for conspiracy theories. We don't do that right here. Also, a content warning. We will be briefly discussing World War II and the Holocaust. I will put it in the chapters so you can skip. But yes, that will be briefly discussed. I say briefly, it's a whole segment. So it will be discussed. And I will make it easy for you to skip. Okay. So let's get into it. I wanted to present to you, Felicia, because I know you've never seen it before.
What on earth is this?
This is an iteration of the F1 iceberg. So I know that I'm more of an internet baby than either you. And essentially the iceberg...
Who made this?
People on Reddit make these things.
Why is Nazi Orgy so large?
You'll understand why it is by the end of this podcast.
Okay.
So essentially, when you're on the internet and there is like a fandom or something, there is the iceberg. Every fandom has the iceberg. Survivor has the iceberg. Like every fandom has the iceberg. And essentially, it's all of the like scandals, gossip, and tea associated with your fandom. And some of it is very well, established. Everybody knows what happened in Abu Dhabi 2021, right? That's above. That's above the iceberg.
What then happened in Abu Dhabi 2021?
Girl, are you for real?
Oh, God.
The Max Lewis thing? Are we...
Lewis
the brake check? The brake check?
No, that was Jeddah. That was when the race directors let Max through past the lapped cars, and then Max ended up passing Lewis because they broke the rules. You know what? Maybe I should have covered Abu Dhabi in this, but we will talk about Abu Dhabi at a later date. I cannot believe that we haven't discussed this at some... You watched Drive to Survive.
I don't remember. I'm rewatching it.
Okay, well, it's
backwards.
It's the
so
end
I've watched
of
this season.
I believe it's the end of season 4. Maybe
Lewis should be an 8-time world champion, not a 7-time.
Oh, dag.
Okay, well, we'll cover that at another time.
Oh,
so we have our F1 iceberg. Then you get into the ice. These are the things that people bring up as like F1 scandals. But the whole funny thing about the iceberg is that there's actually much below the surface that people never, that you have to be deep in the cut to know about. We're only going to cover some of these today. This is also not a definitive F1 iceberg because, once again, this is just made by fans on Reddit. You will find other F1 icebergs that include other things that I considered covering in this, but quite frankly, they are too conspiracy theorist for me to like get into the research of, because I'd have to go into the depths of F1 Reddit, and I'm not doing that. So, up first, scandal number 1. Rich Energy, also known as me giving a plug to Racing with Rich Energy by Alanis King and Elizabeth Blackstone.
Girl.
Love them. Love them. They've responded to my tweets on Twitter.
What on earth is this?
So, Felicia, as you may know, F1 teams have sponsors.
Oh my God. Who is that man?
I will get into it. Rich Energy was one of the sponsors for Haas in, I believe, 2019. It gave them their most baller livery yet. It looked so good. But it was a little bit messy. So we can get into the key players here. First, we have the CEO of Rich Energy. His name is William Story. And he has a sketchy vibe.
I can see that.
That's well established throughout this whole thing.
Okay.
Then we have Gunther Steiner. He is the Haas team principal. I mean, at the point of this story, he was the Haas team principal. None of these people are in the positions that are named on this screen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And his vibe, class clown with anger issues. I feel like that's evident from Drive to Survive. So that's all you really need to know for this. And then our sweet baby angel, Claire Williams. She was the Williams team principal, and she is a Nepo baby who was actually trying really hard at her job. So thank you, Nepo baby, for actually putting in the work. Oh. Let's get into it. First, what is Rich Energy? Rich Energy was an energy drink company based out of London. The story of how they started, very vague and confusing. Nobody actually understands the details of how they started. Also, prior to them being an F1 sponsor, people didn't really see them in stores. Like, they weren't popping like that. So it's kind of like, where are you getting the money for this? nobody knows who you are. Their whole vibe was like, we're edgy, we're cool, we're gonna compete with Red Bull because we're the edgy cool ones.
Huh?
Okay. But however, in 2016, their business documents showed them as having only $700 in the bank.
That's wild.
So I don't know how they went from 700 to the millions they sponsored Haas with, but who knows? So a little bit about Rich Energy.
Ain't clean.
Something's weird.
Mm.
So how did Rich Energy actually get into F1? So TBT to 2017, maybe 2018. 2017. Force India, the old pink car, went broke. They went into administration. That was Rich Energy's sort of first public foray into F1. Rich Energy
Force India become acquired by?
They became Racing Point, and then they became Aston Martin.
Okay.
Yeah, Lance Stroll's team.
Mm-hmm.
Rich Energy offered to step in and buy Force India and like take it over, but Force India was like, "You're sketchy, so no." Then Rich Energy was like, "Who needs to be a team when you can just be a title sponsor? Easier." And they were considering Haas and Williams as the teams that they wanted to sponsor. Notable thing about this, Haas and Williams did not know they were in competition. They both thought that Rich Energy was their one and only lover. Neither of them knew that they were in contention. And at the Australian Grand Prix, Claire Williams was supposed to be in final negotiations with Williams' story, and he stood her up at dinner and then announced a deal with Haas a couple days later. So he's already setting up to be kind of sketchy. And this whole thing is kind of sketching up to be weird. There's no knowledge of whether or not Haas knew what was going on at the time. So, well, now Rich Energy's in F1. They're on the Haas car. What happened? So, first day of 2019 testing, the Haas did like a little bit better than Red Bull. Nothing crazy. Like, it's testing, so it doesn't actually end up panning out. And Rich Energy decides to tweet out, "Oh, we're going to kick Red Bull's ass. We're going to beat you on and off the track." One, how are you beating them off the track? You're not even sold in Tesco.
Wow.
And you're also not going to beat them on the track. That, please, you know that's not happening. Then, somewhere around like the middle-ish of the season, different sources said different GPs. So I'm going to go with middle-ish of the season. Rich Energy sends out a weird tweet saying, "Well, we're cutting ties with Haas. Fuck them. They're shit. And I'm going to start dragging them during races on Twitter." Like, he called them like a milk float or something. He said some insulting European things. I didn't really understand how they were.
Milk float?
Girl, I think it's a European insult. I don't really understand that one.
Oh, continue. Yeah. I'm looking it up.
Very confusing. He also tweeted something about his stakeholders trying to execute a coup. Don't know what was up with that. He deleted that tweet. And then it was confirmed after the Italian GP that the deal had indeed fallen apart. So then after the Silverstone GP, they kicked out Williams' story and they completely rebranded. I'm unsure if they're still a thing because I didn't care if they're still a thing. I think they're kind of weird and lame. But as a result, Haas lost millions in sponsorship money and finished second to dead last that year.
Oh my God. And who was behind them that year?
Williams, I believe.
Of course.
Yeah. Sad.
Truly.
Okay.
The little car that could.
I know. I feel so
eventually get over the line.
Eventually.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So that's the mess of Haas and Rich Energy. I wanted to dip our toes into F1 scandals. Something relatively quick, sweet, and fun. You know? And keep it light. Okay. Because we're about to get...
I find it interesting that like Haas and Williams didn't seem to do their research before just taking a title sponsor.
I think it was the money. It was the money, man.
It had to be.
They needed that money.
But you still do, maybe it's just a lawyer in me, I feel like you still do some research to make sure that's not.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can't just walk up to like Mercedes and say, "Hey, I want to be a sponsor." Like,
if you have money, you probably could.
That's kind of what Rich Energy did. They were like,
if you have the money, you probably could.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can make it look like you have the money. which
Because
they
had
probably did.
They had
Listen.
$700 in the bank
Listen,
in 2017.
They must have put up a chunk.
they did something.
I mean, unless they had like cash on hand. Like, but I'm
Maybe
sorry,
he
but
pulled out
maybe
the briefcase.
I'm looking at the valuation
not
of
the
company
briefcase.
before I'm just like, sure, come on in.
Yeah, I
And no
agree.
offense,
Very strange.
Any CEO or who looks like that.
Bags.
No offense.
No, you're dragging
I'm
this
just
man.
saying, I'm like,
I know I said who is this man, but dang.
no, but truly, like if what was that show? Duck hunting or the Duck Family? What was that?
Oh my
Duck
God.
Dynasty?
There you go. If Duck Dynasty would approach me to be my title sponsor, and that's what they came looking like, I'd be like, okay, this fit. No. Anyway, moving on.
All right, we're gonna let that one hang.
Oh my God.
Up next for consideration, we have, in my opinion, a really funny F1 scandal, and I think F1's most like publicly known scandal, just because of its historic place in sports scandals, and we'll get into why it's historic as we talk through this. Some key players. Note, I did not put people's faces here because there's too many people. I didn't feel like putting all their pictures. And I wanted to show the team affiliation of these people before we actually get into who these people are. Okay. So from Ferrari, we have Nigel Stepney. From McLaren, we have a couple players. We have Mike Coughlin and his wife. Nigel and Mike were both like engineers for their respective teams. Okay. We, of course, have Lewis and Fernando, who both drove for McLaren at the time. And we have Ron Dennis, the team principal.
Okay.
From the FIA, we have Max Mosley. Remember Max Mosley? He's going to make an appearance later, too.
Okay.
And these are all our key players. Notably, this is happening in like the 2007, 2008 range. So I believe this is happening in Lewis's rookie year. So that's important. Now, on the left, next to the Ferrari, we have Nigel Stepney. On the right, next to the McLaren, we have Mike Coughlin. Okay. Now, I want you to picture the messiest person you know. It's a man, ain't it? Nigel is passed for promotion. And so, of course, Nigel can't take that on the chin. Nigel can't ask for a raise instead. No. Nigel decides, I got to steal some confidential information from the team. Then Nigel goes to get, chips, guac, and margaritas with his bestie and passes him the confidential info. Instead of Mike doing, his basic due diligence, going, hey, this is a bad idea, da-da-da-da, what does Mike do? He makes the McLaren car using the Ferrari secrets. Because of course he does. You want to know what else Mike does? Because once again, who's the messiest person you know, a man? He gives the info to his wife. And for some reason, his wife takes the Ferrari documents to some random printing place in Woking, UK. Random printing place.
To do what?
To copy the documents, apparently.
You don't have a copy machine?
That
you can access?
I guess not. Not.
You're married to someone who works for McLaren. You can't afford a copy machine?
Yeah, it's truly tragic. So she tries to print these Ferrari documents. I don't know why. I don't really understand why she needed to make a copy of these freaking documents. And you know what she didn't account for? What she should have accounted for? That printing man was a Tifosi. A die-hard Ferrari fan. And so he called Ferrari. He saw the Ferrari and see all the documents. He picked up the phone. He called Ferrari and went, hey, some McLaughlin lady just came in and it looks like she's copying your confidential documents. I'm not exaggerating. He straight up called Ferrari. He called Ferrari headquarters. I was like, hey, some just came in here with your documents, and last I checked, she's not a race engineer. So,
oh my god! Oh my god! You got illegal documents and took them to the local FedEx, local Kinkos, and a diehard F1 fan said, "No, you're not."
Yep. So, of course, Ferrari hears about all of this, and Ferrari's like, bruh, we need to do something. So the FIA says, we're opening an investigation. They do their little FIA stuff, and they go, case closed. McLaughlin worked alone. This wasn't like a collusion thing on the part of McLaren. You know, McLaughlin, get out of here. Nigel, get out of here. You know.
Yes.
Shame on you guys.
Yes.
So one would think this is where it all ends. But once again, I have to pose the same question I posed at the top of this segment.
Oh, God.
Who's the messiest person you know?
Oh, my God. Not this man.
It's a man. So on the left, we have young Fernando Alonso.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? On the right, we have young Lewis.
No offense, but both of them. Wow.
Well, because remember, this is Lewis pre-hair plugs. So, like...
Oh, my God. I forgot he got hair plugs.
Yeah, this is Lewis before he made his trip to Turkey.
Mm.
And then we have Ron Dennis down there in the center.
Okay.
So, this is Lewis's rookie year, right? All this has sort of been squashed, buried, it's all fine. And now it's Lewis's rookie year. In the first race of the year, Lewis goes around Fernando Alonso on lap 1 and, like, actively battles him. Fernando, 2-time champion Alonso. Number 1 driver, Fernando Alonso. And so, of course, Alonso's not feeling this. Alonso's not liking this. And this keeps happening at multiple races. I believe at Monaco is basically where, like, the last, like, you know, the last straw, where Fernando's like, bro, what are we doing here, right? So Lewis does all of his little rookie shenanigans where he's just a super, like, get after it guy. He's like, I don't care that you're the number 1 driver. I'm the captain now. Ron Dennis kind of goes, he's just a kid. Don't worry about it, Fernando. There's nothing to be mad about. Once again, Fernando, I don't know if you know much about Fernando, Felicia. He's not going to take that lying down. So, Fernando at the Hungary GP that year.
What?
Yes. Lewis, like, did something to, like, hold up Fernando, semi on purpose, but mostly just being a little shit. And so Fernando stopped in the pit box, knowing Lewis was behind him, and waited until Lewis wouldn't have enough time to set a quali lap to get out of the pit box and go set his own qualifying lap.
Oh, he's petty.
He is a very petty man. He's a very funny but petty man. The team gets in trouble for this because this is not good vibes. They lose their points for that race. Fernando gets a grid penalty. You know, vibes aren't good. Because the vibes aren't good, Ron Dennis is seen throwing his headphones, screaming at Alonso's race engineer, all this stuff. So he obviously beefs Alonso. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Alonso, as we said, messiest person you know, very, very petty. So Alonso goes, oh, I'm your number 1 driver, and you're going to reprimand me? I'm going to tell the FIA that I have emails showing that actually McLaughlin wasn't working alone. And it was a whole big collusion plot. And I have emails to prove it. And guess what? I'm going to send those emails to the FIA unless you underfuel Lewis's car next race so that he won't finish the race.
Wait. What?
Yep. Fernando threatened to leak additional information that would screw the team unless McLaren underfueled Lewis's car at the next race.
So he said, sabotage your chance at getting more points next race.
Or I take this team down.
Oh, he's... No.
No, Alonso was known for doing a lot of really petty things while him and Lewis were at
This is beyond petty, though. Like,
Alonso
what do you mean?
Alonso was known for paying race engineers in envelopes of cash to get them to leave Lewis's side of the garage and come over to his in the hopes that there would be less race engineers to work on Lewis's car.
Wait, so even if you're on the same team, you can just take engineers from, like, your engineers don't go to both cars?
Well, I think he was bribing them to not spend time on Lewis's car.
Damn.
Yeah.
And he was still going around you. That must suck.
Yeah, Lewis ended up tying him that year. His rookie year. So, crazy. So of course,
suck though being the senior driver, number 1.
You're a 2-time world champion. But
that doesn't mean become a child.
Rookie. that is like, I don't know if y'all don't watch basketball, so let me not. But that's some rookie saying, "Oh, LeBron, I'm not gonna pass you the ball because I'm better."
No.
You know? Or I think I'm better. Anyway,
he was petty, but Alonzo always gives us.
No, I remember the first episode I did say that Alonzo was the driver I least liked, or one of the drivers I least liked.
Yeah,
I
vibes are bad.
Imagine why.
Vibes are bad, but he's also so entertaining that it's like he a lot of F1 is on Fernando's back, entertainment wise.
Oh my God.
So Ron Dennis gets this threat, and he basically calls Max Mosley, and he's like, "Hey, Max, like, I am not saying that Spygate wasn't a solo op. What I am saying is I'm being threatened by Alonzo with some like extra info. So like I'm just giving you a heads up that I'm being threatened, so things might happen." The FIA basically goes, "Gang, we already knew that this was kind of going on, and we're ready to reinvestigate. But now that this might all go tits up for us, and we're caught off guard, we're just going to open up an investigation anyway. So hey, we're reopening the investigation."
Oh my God.
They do their investigation thing. There's a part where Renault gets involved, but in my opinion, they're irrelevant to this scandal. I don't even know why they're on the Wikipedia for this scandal, but besides the point. Renault gets involved, there's all this stuff, blah, 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 blah. Guess what, baby? We are giving McLaren the largest fine in sporting history. $100 million. Biggest fine in sporting history. No fine has ever surpassed it. They absolutely screwed them. Notably, I believe Max Mosley told Ron Dennis $5 million of this fine is for the actual Spygate. $95 million of it is for you being a fucking dumbass.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like you couldn't keep your guys in check. You couldn't keep your team in check.
Yeah.
You're getting 95 mil.
Yeah, we're charging you $95 million for being a fucking idiot.
Oh my God.
Which I think is really funny. Bad, but very funny. And they also took away all of McLaren's constructor points. So the team would not receive any constructor points this year. Lewis and Alonso did get to keep their points because they collaborated with the FIA on the investigation. And they were like, yeah, whatever you need, guys. So they got to keep their points. Notably, all of this drama kind of fucked the team. And that's how Kimi Räikkönen wins his championship. So a lot of people kind of look sideways at Kimi Räikkönen's championship. Not a lot. Some people. Because they're like, if Spygate hadn't happened, maybe McLaren would have been on their top game.
That is wild.
Absolutely wild.
That is no.
Absolutely wild.
Your driver says, "Hey, I'm gonna wreck the whole thing unless you wreck him."
Yeah, to my understanding, also, this is not the only time.
You can only fuel up like at the start of a race. Like
it used to not be that way. You used to be able to refuel. You can no longer refuel. I think at this point they had outlawed refueling. So yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Also, should note, and this might be slander against Fernando. I might have my facts mixed up. I don't believe this is the only time Fernando blackmailed his team. I think he might have blackmailed his team in the whole Crashgate thing as well.
Oh my God.
But I don't remember. We'll get into Crashgate at some point. I think he blackmailed his team in Crashgate as well. So
how absurd is this man?
He's so iconic, though. That's the problem.
Good God, Afsa.
I don't know what you want from me.
Afsa.
It's a glass of wine.
I've never heard such a hearty glass of wine being poured in my life.
Glass of wine. I'm being
the glass doesn't look that big, but the way it's just like glug, 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 glug.
I'm sorry that I have an amazing ASMR mic. Okay, that's not my fault. Not my fault at all.
That was a hefty pour.
For real, it really was.
Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
You're good. All right, moving on to our final scandal that we're going to cover because it's a mess. We have
looking at this right now.
Yeah, we have the Nazi orgy. Trigger warning. We're going to talk about Nazis. We're going to talk about suicide.
Nazis and suicide are not funny.
Potentially click out if you need to. All right. So really the only person we care about in this one is Max Mosley. He was the ex-FIA president at the time of the scandal. And he did self-inflict a rainbow connection on himself in 2021.
A what?
So he killed himself in 2021.
Oh, I've never heard of it called a rainbow connection. I'm sorry. Continue.
Fine. You're fine. That is the notable things about Max Mosley. I mean, sorry, other notable thing, and I think I bring it up in the next couple slides, but I'll cover it now. Mm-hmm. Max Mosley's father is Oswald Mosley, best friend of Hitler.
Okay.
One of Hitler's besties.
Okay.
So you can imagine his complicated relationship with Nazis.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Other two key players in this whole thing are Max Mosley's wallet and Max Mosley's proclivities in the bedroom. Both of those are key players. I tried to pick a kinktest.com result that matched Max Mosley well. And I think you'll find that we'll cover these things in today's episode. We'll cover these things in today's episode. I can't see Bex because I'm screen sharing, so
from I'm both of your funny faces, I can't. I'm not ready.
Yeah. So to keep this fun, to keep the format, switching between scandals, we're gonna play 2 truths and 1 lie about the Max Mosley scandal. So, option number 1. Max Mosley was a sadomasochist who both whipped Orgy members and was whipped by Orgy members.
What the fuck?
2. Max Mosley paid the Orgy members £2,500 total for 5 hours of orgy. Or number 3. Max Mosley dressed up and had Orgy members dress up as Auschwitz camp members.
What the fuck, bro?
And Bex, which one of these is the lie?
All of them, I hope.
No. One is true.
Bex, which one do you believe is the lie?
I think 2 is the lie.
God.
Okay. Felicia, you have to pick something as lie.
1 and 3 that I've heard of. I think.
Okay. Felicia, which one do you think is the lie?
I hope it's 2.
I'm going to say 3.
Okay. So, Bex, you pick 2. Felicia picked 3. Guess what, baddies?
Oh, God.
They're all true.
I hate you so much. They're all true. I hate you so much.
All fucking true. So.
My God, what the fuck is this?
Into Max Mosley's Nazi orgy.
Oh my God.
So Max Mosley was filmed having an orgy with 5 women. Some reports say that it was a mix of people dressed as concentration camp victims and people dressed as Nazis. I believe that Max Mosley himself says that they were all dressed up as prisoners. He obviously denies that they were concentration camp victims. Like, obviously, he's not going to say that. It should be noted that Max Mosley whipped the women while speaking German and then had the women whip him. All of this is around a tone of needing to be punished. You've been a bad boy, whatever.
Afsa, what is wrong with these people?
A lot. I covered this, but Hitler's BFF, Max Mosley's father. It was reported that Max Mosley paid the women in total £2,500 to participate in the orgy.
In total?
I'm not a sex worker. That's an absurdly low price for 5 hours of a Nazi orgy. With impact play? 5 hours of an impact play Nazi orgy?
That's like £500 a piece, ain't it?
Yeah, that's $100 an hour.
No.
Oh, hold on.
That's crazy.
You're $2,500 for all 5 women?
Across the 5 women.
So
$500 per
$2,500 each?
No.
I thought it was $2,500 each.
That's what I did too until she just said this.
Rumored he paid in collective. That's offensive. That's offensive.
That's disrespectful.
That's
real. What that is.
I didn't include this because I honestly forgot to, but apparently part of this was him shaving him getting his ass shaved or something. There's lots of weird sadomasochism things going on in this one. The footage is available. It was released by...
What do you mean?
It was released by News of the World. So the footage is somewhere. I definitely saw a news source that appeared to have the footage, or at least screen caps of the footage. I did not watch the footage. I won't watch this footage. It did not look pleasant. But notably, Max Mosley did sue News of the World and won, basically because News of the World reported on it being like, oh, it's a public interest. And Max Mosley was like, no, it's not. And he won because the judge was like, yeah, there's no public interest to knowing about your Nazi orgy. Also, I, the judge, am saying that despite the fact that you're whipping people while speaking German, a language that I don't think is your primary language you normally speak in, yeah, no Nazi correlation here. Once again, it's unclear because I haven't seen the video, it's unclear if anybody was actually dressed as a Nazi. If anybody was dressed as a Nazi, I think saying there's no Nazi correlation is kind of insane. Max Mosley was basically claiming that it was prisoner roleplay, not concentration camp roleplay.
Skating a very fine line, but...
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Notably, he was being whipped hard enough that he needed his wounds dressed.
What?
So there's a lot going on there, Max Mosley.
Oh my gosh. I'm not well.
Like, listen,
Yeah,
everyone can have their own kinks and whatnot, but this is
Okay.
a bit
yeah. I
far.
would say Max Mosley, bro, do your blood play, but maybe not in German.
Even blood play,
Maybe
Lord.
leave Hitler's
Yeah.
and the Nazis out of it.
Yeah.
I think that's the most disturbing part of all of this.
I will say, in the courtroom, it appears the women said they had fun. So
Oh my God.
I'll at least give him that they said it was nice. So congrats, Max
Was
Mosley.
that a quote? They said it was nice.
She said that it was actually one of the women who got whipped said it was very pleasant. So
Well, I mean,
I can't yuck their yum.
happy for her.
you
And-
yes, you can.
Thanks.
And a fun little fact: one of the sex workers was apparently an MI5 agent's wife, and he was forced to resign after this news came out.
Oh
Wait, hold
my
on.
God.
Was Max married?
Yes, Max Mosley was married.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It just keeps getting worse. And it's not like any of this would be fine with him not having a wife, but I just like, was she a willing participant? Was she completely unaware?
It
Like,
appears the wife was unaware. She also was not a participant in the Nazi orgy.
oh my God.
She was not present for the Nazi orgy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sucks for her. That sucks so bad for her.
For real, imagine your husband's Nazi sex tape leaked to the world. I would wish that on my worst enemy.
I hate you.
It's true.
Please
I would.
continue. Please.
I would.
Oh God.
I would continue, except I believe that's the end of our show.
Oh my God.
That's the end of our F1 scandals. Obviously, there are so many F1 scandals that we could have covered. There were so many things on that iceberg. I originally considered adding Electric Boogaloo Part 2 of the Epstein connections, but I don't think we can get into Epstein today.
No.
Not
think
in
I can handle
entirety.
Epstein today.
Not
I
in
don't think I
entirety.
can
I don't think we could have
handle
gotten into Epstein after the Nazi orgy. We got a lot going on. Although, notably, I think Max Mosley might have been in the Epstein Journal, or maybe it was Bernie Ecclestone. It's one of them.
Of
One
course.
of the big boys. One of the big boys was in the Epstein Journal.
Of course.
Of course they were. So
Now that you have thoroughly disturbed me.
yeah, any thoughts? Like any outcomes? Which one was your? Oh, sorry. Bernie, Flavio Briatore, and Lawrence Stroll, all on the Epstein list.
Ooh.
Wait,
Big
who?
Daddy
First
Stroll.
one, Bernie.
Big Daddy Stroll.
Bernie Ecclestone.
I'm so
That's not
sorry.
surprising though. Bernie Ecclestone.
Oh, okay.
The old, yeah, that's not that surprising.
Who is he?
He's like horrible.
Who is he?
He's the old owner of F1. He's like the worst.
Ew.
He's so annoying.
Mm.
So annoying.
Mm.
Yeah, I hate that guy. So this is not really that surprising. But yeah, any closing, I mean, closing, we can yap for a little bit. Any post-scandal thoughts? How are you feeling? How are you
I mean,
feeling?
I'll be
about
honest. I
scandals?
think F1 just has so many scandals because F1 is just a sport. I mean, it was basically created for rich men to show off their fancy cars. And I just feel like it's a sport with so much money, and people with money have
proclivities.
Yeah, there you go. Have certain proclivities that are just different. And also
So
too,
true.
like the sexual too, but I also think like just people aren't told. They aren't people that are told no often. So you get like a Fernando. Let's say it correctly, and I said Fernando. Ugh, such American.
Okay, relax.
But like, like I feel like you just kind of get a lot of crazy egomaniacs, a lot of narcissists. It makes for excellent TV and for an excellent sport. When you sort of like look under the surface, you're like, oh, these people are weird.
Not well.
But no, the Nazi orgy is one that like I did not know that much about. Like I'd heard a couple things here and there. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I don't
Especially, like, yo, daddy was one of Hitler's best friends. I understand you probably have some daddy issues.
My foot.
But, like, I don't know. Doing a role play of something your dad was directly involved in is kind of... It's very classic trauma, but also very weird.
Very much screams daddy
also,
issues.
He's, like, never, like...
Also, notably, in this Nazi orgy, because maybe I didn't make this clear enough, he's one of the Auschwitz victims. He made himself an Auschwitz victim.
Well,
so that's what
he wouldn't get whipped.
Oh yeah, because he wants to.
That's what I find even
crazier. I should not be laughing in relation to these things.
That's what I find even crazier. Like, it's not even. I mean, it's obviously anti-Semitism. That's a given. You're doing Nazi roleplay. You're minimizing Nazism.
Oh my god!
But if you made yourself the Auschwitz victim, you needed to go to therapy.
But do you know what? There's like black people who like master slave.
Yeah. You guys see the guy with the slave engagement photos?
Yes.
And that is wild.
My God.
Wild.
Engagement photos?
Listen, someone did a TikTok where they were like the photographer, and they were just like, "Are you? So we're gonna keep the chains. We're gonna."
Wild.
That's a choice. Those videos literally made me like physically uncomfortable.
I mean, there's black people out here who like being slaves, so I mean, why can't he be? Never mind. That was going. Never mind.
No, it's okay.
I'm about to say, why can't he be an Auschwitz victim?
Pack it up. Pack it up.
So much. Why are you like this?
I mean, like,
oh my god.
Bags.
I don't know. Maybe we're just a little too sane. I don't know. It's like so hard to wrap your mind around that people actually enjoy this, and this is what gets people's motors going. Ooh, yeah. Like, what the heck? Like, this is what you enjoy?
I think Bex is so real.
Yes.
What else do you want me to call him?
Freak, Jezebel.
A freak with money. That's the worst type of freak.
I think Bex is so real. Also, viewers, just in case you don't know about this guy's engagement photos, this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. He's literally in chains. Literally in chains. She is literally undoing his shackles.
Lovingly at this man. What?
He's literally, yeah.
I wonder how many different photographers they had to bring this up to until they found someone willing to take these.
I don't know. This I might be taking a little too far, but it's
bags.
We all gotta say it. We don't gotta
It's
say it.
always them. It's always them. You never
What's
see it
them?
the other way around. It's always them. Acting like they don't have
We
any
know what it
sense.
is. We know what it is. What did Dr. Umar say?
They don't have
What did
any
Dr. Umar
sense.
say? We know what it is. Dr. Umar said it the best.
Oh my God.
You know what? And I really hate that we got to be out here quoting Dr. Umar. But,
Dr. Umar.
you know, a broken clock is right, what, twice a day?
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't stand you.
Black queens
Always
forever.
them.
Snow bunnies never.
Okay. Y'all.
Dr. Umar actually
Girl,
went to
when have you
Florida
ever-
A&M.
When
For a
have you
talk?
ever
It
heard
was so
a
funny.
black woman said, yeah, I like have a slave kink? You never. It's always them. It's always them. Anyway.
They need therapy. To close out this segment, because we've already touched on it slightly.
No, I have a question.
Okay.
Why did y'all choose for this to be my first foray into F1 conspiracies and scandals?
We picked the most notable ones.
Nazis?
Yeah. Bro, the Nazi orgies are really, really popular one.
Yeah, and like
It's
it's been
big.
covered.
It
from,
just
like,
makes me
not
afraid
just,
for
like,
what's
on
to
Reddit
come.
and stuff. Like you can actually find like
I was looking at actual, it's like CBS articles.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can find like credible news sources reporting on it. It's not
Huffington
just, like,
Post.
it's not just like a fan thing. It's like, oh no, this was an issue.
Yeah. Like some of them, like, for example, there's conspiracy theories about Alonso crashing in Barcelona testing and like weird stuff happening to him. That's all conspiracy. This isn't conspiracy, baby. We got footage of the sex tape.
Oh my God.
I was trying to go with things that were mostly probably
Rooted in
true.
fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like even Spygate, that's something like obviously they were punished.
We all know what happened.
It's fine, you know.
I would be so mad at my wife if I got caught and found out because this bitch went to Kinkos.
It's criminal.
I would be so upset.
I always wonder like there's no one else like you knew who had a printer or like you couldn't print it at the office. Like McLaren didn't have a printer, and I know you obviously don't want to show colluding.
So, like you could close
McLaren.
the door and put a quick scan.
You could show like a quick print or something.
The whole thing is that she basically was like, "Hey, I need you to print these documents," and he was like, "Okay, I'll have all these documents printed by." She went to a printer. You left?
What year was this in?
2007?
No, bitch, you had a printer at home.
No, like I could see maybe not having a printer, but you definitely had a printer at the office. And like I don't.
And also, your man works for McLaren.
I think he wanted to print these official documents where other people could see him, which is why I don't understand why he gave it to his wife to print at Kinkos.
And I also don't understand, like, this is something you take and you print yourself. It's not something you give to someone else to make copies.
This is something you take to Staples and you stick your USB in the computer and you print it yourself.
Print it yourself, yeah.
But I bet you she probably didn't even know how to do that if that was even available at that time.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, to close out our pod, as we know, I often ask a nice, funny, unhinged question at the end. And I've been inspired by the slave engagement photo conversation. What is your favorite Dr. Umar quote?
Oh,
I don't know what that man says.
Dr. Umar here, but he does come with some funny quotes. So, I know what mine is.
I don't have a Dr. Umar quote.
I don't have one.
Guys, come on.
I do not intake and maintain anything that man says.
Like,
Felicia, he's one of the funniest.
One interview of him on the Breakfast Club, and it was a lot. And I don't remember anything from that. I don't remember any like quotes, but it was like
every time I see it just gives unhinged. Just unhinged.
Yeah. And I feel qualified to laugh at Dr. Umar because I'm one of the people he's attacking. So I feel like I'm qualified to laugh at Dr. Umar. I've got 3 Dr. Umar quotes, one for each of us to end this podcast.
God. Wow.
Actually, no. Let me look up one because I feel like
I know what my favorite 2 are.
Okay.
So let me see.
My one favorite is "No, you cannot bring your white wife to the function." That one is one of my favorites. The first time I heard that one, I cried. The first time I heard that one, it was so funny. I think my second favorite one, and it might have been when he was. It might have been when he was on the Breakfast Club. It might have been another interview that he did, but he did an interview where I guess the guy was like yapping or something, and he said, "Wait a second, are you mixed race? No. Are you a bunny hopper? Yes. There it is." Man's comedic timing is unbelievable.
Oh my god!
He recently did a clip where he was like, "So you want me to believe that the black girls called you ugly and the white girls called you handsome?"
Oh my god!
Comedic timing is otherworldly comedic timing. Like, he is absolutely insane. He still ain't built that school in Delaware yet, but that man's comedic timing is insane. He could give a class on comedic timing. He's not being comedic. He's being so for real.
A white wife to the function.
Oh my god, I think he said something like politics before Punani. He said something like that. Just some clip where he was like, or purpose before Punani, or oh my gosh, Felicia Vex, I gotta send you some of these clips. I have to send you some of these clips. I have to send you some of these clips. This man is hilarious.
God. Not purpose over.
I gotta send you guys some of these clips. It was so funny.
God, my stomach hurts.
Did you find your Dr. Umar quote you liked yet, Bex?
I can't find it in the Breakfast. I've only seen the Breakfast, so it has to be one of those, but can't quite find what he said. Anyway, I might have to
do a deep dive.
I have to watch it again. I'm gonna lose my mind.
Oh, I would not watch it again, girl. Go find one of the Dr. Umar compilation clips on TikTok. It'll be in there.
Yeah.
Wait.
Y'all
Why
don't
does it say that this man said post-traumatic slavery disorder? Our greatest problem after white supremacy is ourselves. Our Achilles heel is self-hate. What the hell?
Like Dr. Umar. That's the thing with Dr. Umar. It's like, I get the premise. I get the underlying thing he's trying to get at, right? That, like, we, as Black people, we need to, better ourselves and work together. Great. And then he just throws like bullets in there and daggers. It's like, what in the world were you trying to accomplish with this, sir?
Oh my god.
For real. I will say, adore is the wrong word because I don't like anything about Dr. Umar fundamentally. The way he says Negro is hilarious. His tone of voice when he says it is insane. Oh, wait, yes. Oh, I found the quote. Consciousness over coochie. Politics. Money. Ladies, I'm not playing. No weave, no perm, no straightening comb, no European hair color. It is a nappy by natural single convention.
Wait, okay, I've heard that quote.
What is wrong with this man? Oh my god. I'm finished with you too.
People really are here.
I'm finished with you too.
I will be bombarding you with Dr. Umar funny clips later today. Dr. Umar. I'll be bombarding you with clips. But anyway, we don't need to make the listeners listen to us laugh about Dr. Umar. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Be glad you don't.
Be glad you don't. All right, listeners, as per usual, we want you to rate, we want you to review, we want you to subscribe. We want our podcast to grow. So share it with your family, share it with your friends. Send it to the people who you would send your BDSMtest.org results that show that you're a sadomasochist to. Send it to them
maybe
too.
Not.
And pay them more than $100 an hour, maybe. Pay them their due.
Okay.
For what you're gonna have them do.
$2,500
Per baby.
per.
We're not taking no chump change rates over here.
No,
Okay?
no.
With
Pay your
that,
sex workers appropriately.
pay your sex workers appropriately.
Sex work is work.
Pay them appropriately, baby. At least $200 an hour minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue should be $5, but hey, pay the bees they're worth.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
Bex, Felicia, as per usual, it has been a delight.
Always.
Listeners, thank you for sticking along with us for this hour-long Afsa rant session. And we will see you after the Suzuka Grand Prix. I will be awake for it.
We're going
I'm
to
trying.
Japan.
I'm trying.
Bex will try.
Is it on the weekend?
It's Sunday at midnight for you.
Wait, midnight, Saturday night
Saturday
going into
Sunday.
Sunday?
Yes.
That's usually
I'll think about it, see how I feel.
I
Shut
would
up.
say I need some company. So
I'll
feel
be
free to
awake.
stay awake.
I know you will be
I'm awake at
texting
that time
the group.
anyway, so I'll be
I
awake.
don't know why.
It'll be a matter if I can get the peeps to watch with me. We don't know.
Well.
Alrighty.
Peace out, my bean sprouts.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.